Hello, my name's Elise. Welcome everyone to my Assassin's Creed Black Flag book review. Here's the thing, everybody. Black Flag the book review is basically the same like all the other Assassin's Creed video games, books. It's basically the entire video game right here. The major thing is the first around 140 pages, you get the beginning of Edward Kenway as a farmer, his what he grew up in, where he met Caroline, the love of his life, how he was trying to get her, how he was trying to charm her, how he was always a drinking at a young age, how he was had two loving parents who loved each other, and how they were simple people, and how basically what he does to them is basically what he does to his own parents. It kind of makes you reflect about how Edward Kenway is just a very selfish human being in a video game and all that stuff. And granted, he wanted a better life for his wife and all that stuff, but in so many cases, he let down a lot of people that he loved. And Edward Kenway, to me, is such a tragic character, tragic hero. I loved him throughout Black Flag, the video game. I loved him throughout the book. I really loved his relationship between his parents and Caroline, and how he was dealing with some childhood people that he grew up with and all this stuff. I really enjoyed this book for when we were learning about Edward Kenway before he was a pirate. And then when we get him before as a pirate, then we get the middle of him, like the total video game version of him. And then the end, we get what? The end of this, we get basically Edward Kenway going back to his family, going back to see his mother and all this stuff, and trying to reflect about what he has done and get revenge on the people who drew him away from his home. And how well, technically they drove him away, but he was always going to leave either way. But this book was pretty entertaining. It was a very fun read. I enjoyed it. And again, how Edward Kenway is as a character, he's basically the same character he is in Black Flag. It's just now we get to know about how he was young, he didn't think, and all that stuff. He just spent most of his life just drinking, dreaming away, and all that stuff, and how basically his family disowned him in many cases. I really enjoyed this book for those moments. I kind of wish we had an entire book of just Edward Kenway, even before the pirate. I kind of wish we had more chapters of that. There's not much differences from his video game character, and there's not different scenes. I say the only thing is they just like bum rush like certain scenes, like how Captain Charles Vane got past Wood Rogers' fleet and all this stuff. Yeah, you skip that scene. You skip a lot of good say. You skip a lot of the stuff in Black Flag, which is kind of skippable. And overall, I enjoyed this book. It was a fun, good time. I loved learning about Edward Kenway before he became a pirate. How he learned about the crew, how he got into his first pirate thing, how he first met Edward Thatch, Benjamin Hornigold, how he met his entire crew of people. And I really enjoyed this. And this book takes place with Edward Kenway just like reciting a story to his daughter and explaining to her about his journey, about his entire life. I love this, what they did. I think that was a very unique tale instead of just someone telling a story about Ezio Auditore or, all that stuff, or like, or Altair. I really like the fact that this was mostly Edward Kenway's point of view, how he felt himself like a ship person and all that stuff. And I really do enjoy this book. I think it was a good book. But when you look at all the other Assassin's Creed books, there's not much difference between Black Flag, Renaissance, Brotherhood. There's not really that much difference of these entire books, because they're basically based off of video game. I see like Assassin's Creed Forsaken, Underground has a higher edge because those are books that we don't know about the Assassin's Creed lore and all that stuff. So Assassin's Creed Black Flag, the book, pretty dang good book, but overall nothing special. So let me know what y'all think of one Assassin's Creed Black Flag the book. Did you think it was great? Did you think it was terrible? Do you really want to read it? To me, you just really need to read the beginning couple chapters of part 1. There's this book split into 4 parts. Read part 1 and then read part 4. Second and third is just basically the entire video game right there. But let me know what y'all think of one. My name's Lisa. Everybody. Bye-bye.